Hello again. We're still going to talk about dot products again. In a previous video, we have seen a way to calculate or represent a dot product. Hopefully, you can understand my handwriting. So when you take one vector, vector A, let's say, vector A, and you cross it with another vector, vector B, you would get I mean the magnitude the magnitude of the product or the result. I guess you can say the result is going to be the product hmm, the product between the magnitude of A and the magnitude of B times cosine theta. Color should cosine theta be yellow. Cosine theta. That is one way to solve, or I guess you can say represent what a dot product is. Another way to solve it is this. Let's say we have a vector. Let's say vector A, just so we won't need new vectors. Vector A has components. I'm going to represent my vectors this way. Components, which is color. I'm going to represent vectors with angled brackets instead of this way. I just like it. I just prefer it. Alright, let's say A1, A2, A3, and vector B has components of B1, B2, and B3. That's supposed to be a 3. 3. Now, how do you take a dot product with... Oops. Oh, no, 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 no. A mistake already. This shouldn't be a cross, an X. This should be a dot. My bad, guys, my bad. Alright, how do you take the dot product of these vectors other than this method? So you write out the vector, I guess. Alright, let's write out the vector. This color. A1, A1, comma, A2, comma, A3, dot, and let's choose the red color. B1, B2, oops, and B3. Now how do you take the product of this? Uh, you multiply the first component with the first component of the first vector with the first component of the second vector. So essentially you multiply these two. Well, not cross, let's say dot instead. Just so it's not confusing. Dot, dot, there, dot. The second, oops, the second component with the second components are multiplied too, and the third components are also multiplied. So are also multiplied, and you take the sum of those multiplied. Alright, let me just write it out. I cannot explain very well, apparently. Alright, so the the dot product is A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3, B3. And not and notice this is a scalar value. This is not a this is not a vector. This is a scalar, scalar. Which makes sense because this is scalar too. This is scalar. So naturally, this is also going to be a scalar value. This is scalar. See you in the next video.